This is just a quick overview of the things that I see for Harrisburg and community development. And this is in the idea of community capacity building, which is going beyond our generation and really making sure that there's an infrastructure that continues to pay it forward in a sustainable way. The next thing to be thinking about is what I pulled together last year in understanding kind of the development of Harrisburg. If we have 4,700 distressed properties that need attention, the idea is looking at what scale can we look at doing this for ourselves, or where do we have to go outside of Harrisburg, outside of the region to provide for these things that need to be taken care of. And a lot of it comes down to have we neglected that in the past? And there's a whole bunch of questions of why that was neglected, but the one thing is take a snapshot of where we're at and answer these 4 questions in the process. So the thing to ask in these 4 questions is the first one being design. Who has the capacity to design any of the conditions that are here in these 8 typologies? Number 2 is construction. Who has the capacity to build any of these conditions? Number 3 is living. Who has the capacity to afford any of these conditions? Number 4 is facilities. Who has the capacity to administer or maintain any of these conditions? So that's your property managers, that's an individual homeowner. How can they take care of a building? So we look at these typologies. Type 1 is a single renovation. This would be one that happens on a block, just renovating a typical block, something that needs to have attention, some attention in TLC. Type number 2 is a single renovation, but then has an addition to it. This would be in the case if the one of the buildings dwelling has been knocked down in the middle of a block. This is an opportunity to do a new renovation and then a new addition to that renovation in the green space. Number 3 is a single infill. Again, this is a new infill process where once something is demoed and we have a gap in the block, we now can go and put in new. Type number 4 is a duplex triplex infill, where we now have a duplex condition of 2 units, or we have a 3-unit infill that's a renovation. Type number 5 is duplex triplex detached renovation. This is a structure that's mid-block and has no adjacent buildings to it. It's detached by itself. All right, so that's a renovation. Type 6 is a duplex triplex new detached. So we might have a vacant lot that has gaps, and we could build a new duplex or triplex. Type 7 is a multifamily, where now we're looking at a multifamily unit, a bigger unit, usually 3+, a single building, or it could be mid-block. And then type 8 is multifamily, that's plus 3 units and a whole block, taking up a whole block. So we look at the scale from type 1 to type 8. Type 8 is really a large scale and has much more complex situations to deal with. So when we look at who can do this in the city, generally these are things that are outside of Harrisburg. When you look at all these, you wonder who is doing some of the designing, who's doing some of the constructing in here, and then how does that transfer to who's living, and then ultimately who continue to maintain these. So these are things that need to be discussed or understood in the larger framework of the Harrisburg Comp Plan. So this is the 52-week series, again, trying to figure out what is our end goal in trying to pull together collective impact type of thinking for community capacity building in Harrisburg.